Space was okay to look at, but not super fun when you were out in it. And 3 and I were definitely in it, clamped onto the outside hull of a small in-system shuttle. It was just as uncomfortable as it sounds. Obviously, to make this plan work, we had needed a suit, and considering this was the distraction part of the plan that would be taking the brunt of the attention, it was better if it was an armored suit. But it couldn't be 3's actual sec unit armor. It had to look like the kind made for humans. We had ended up with an armored suit designed to look like one that Wilkin and Girth had used back on Milu, because someone, Art, thought this part could use some more verisimilitude. Like someone might have researched that incident and think I'd been hauling around one of those shitty sets of armor all this time, or hiding it in my secret rogue sec unit lair. Otherwise known as the Port Hotel on Preservation Station, or Art's aft module resident cabin, depending on where I was at the time. I'm not saying using that armor design is not a good idea. I mean, that is some quality paranoid overthinking right there. We all have to agree on that. Anyway, even in an armored suit, traveling via clamping on to the outside of a shuttle moving through space was so inherently disturbing it was a relief when the black hull loomed out of the dark. We were coming up on our target, destination, which was a gigantic space dock attached to an even more gigantic planetary torus. There were multiple docks along the torus's outer hull, but this one was closest to our primary target, which was why we had to go in here. Literally because the thing was so big, and because multiple intel sources suggested it would be difficult to move around in. Yes, that sounds like the opposite of super fun. There were a lot of other things I would rather be doing. A station that encircled an entire planet had to be huge. And it was huge. From this vantage point, you would have no idea there was a whole planet on the other side of this thing, over there somewhere. It was also very old, not a point in its favor. In the few spotlights along this part of the hull, you could see the metal had scrapes or impact marks that had been repaired over time. But what gave the age away were the engraved numbers stretching across the plates next to the various hatch accesses in the dock area. They had been put there for human pilots, before bot pilots and the feed were common, as a fail-safe for automated approach beacons.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.